Why highly self-aware? People still struggle to change. What if the people who understand themselves the best are sometimes the ones who feel the most stuck? They can name their patterns. They know where their fears come from. They can explain their habits, their triggers, even the childhood experiences behind them. And yet, when it comes to actually changing, they still feel frozen. So why does that happen? 1. Self-awareness isn't the same as change. Self-awareness is powerful, but it is not the same thing as transformation. Knowing you sabotage relationships, procrastinate important goals, or stay in unhealthy cycles does not automatically give you the ability to stop. Insight helps you see the pattern, but seeing it and shifting it are two different skills. A person can say, I know exactly why I do this, and still repeat the same behavior tomorrow, because awareness is the beginning of change, not the completion of it. 2. The mind often chooses familiar over better. One reason change is so hard is that the brain does not always choose what is healthiest. Very often it chooses what feels familiar, and familiar does not always mean good. Sometimes it means predictable, it means known, it means emotionally recognizable. So even when a pattern is painful, part of you may still hold on to it because it feels safer than the unknown. Your mind can recognize a harmful cycle and still resist leaving it. Not because you want to suffer, but because unfamiliar growth can feel more threatening than familiar discomfort. 3. Insight can become overanalysis. Highly self-aware people are often excellent at reflection, but sometimes that reflection turns into overanalysis. They keep observing themselves, decoding every emotion, tracing every reaction, searching for the deeper meaning behind every struggle. And while that can look like progress, it can also become a very subtle form of avoidance. Because thinking about change is not the same as practicing change. Sometimes self-awareness becomes endless observation without movement. 4. Change is emotional, not just intellectual. Real change is not just a mental decision, it is also an emotional process. You may know what would be healthier for you, but if change brings up fear, grief, shame, or uncertainty, your nervous system may still fight it. Sometimes changing means letting go of an old identity, the people pleaser, the overachiever, the one who always stays small to keep others comfortable. And even when those roles hurt, they can still feel deeply familiar. 5. Lasting change needs practice, not just insight. This is why real change begins when awareness meets repetition, emotional safety, and self-compassion. Not one big breakthrough, not one perfect realization, but small, repeated choices that teach your mind and body a new pattern. So if you are deeply self-aware and still struggling to change, that does not mean you are failing. It may simply mean your understanding arrived before your system was ready to follow. Understanding yourself is powerful, but lasting change begins when understanding becomes action, practiced with patience. Why do some of the most self-aware people still feel stuck in the same patterns? In this video, we explore the hidden reason insight alone is not always enough to create real change. From overthinking and emotional resistance to the brain's attachment to familiar pain, this is a deeper look at why understanding yourself does not always make transformation easier. If you've ever thought, I know exactly what my problem is, so why can't I change? This video is for you. This content is created for educational purposes and is not a substitute for mental health care, diagnosis, or therapy.